He's got a habit of overthinking things, worrying about all the possible outcomes till his head hurts.
Okay, Wedge bro, I'll take the word for it. Man, we got some Jessie theorizing to dive into. I am going to be wearing a hat this video. Coronavirus, haircut, engaged. Oh my god. I look crazy. Oh god damn. Anyway, Jessie Raspberry, man, there is something going on with this character, something huge behind the scenes, and as I've gone diving down exactly what it could be, it has tied so well and has convinced me even more that FFXIV Remake is all a dream. I want to clear this up before we start this video, because I know it's spurred other YouTubers and people to comment to me saying, Pez, how can you say timelines aren't in this game? How can you say it when we've literally got like enemy bios like Kadajlos and Yazoo being the Whispers? It literally says from a future timeline in there, Pez. How can you argue this? And the point I'm making is there are timelines. It is timelines. It is all to do with timelines, but it's not time travel in the kind of really lazily unexplained way. Like, so many people just say time travel, but how does that work in the mechanics of the FF7 universe? How does that work with the Lifestream and the nature of memory and the planet? And the answer is exactly just that. It's the Lifestream. All memory, all events are recorded. Again, we covered in the last video, that's how the planet sustains itself. It's super sacred. You know, that's why there's that Aerith line saying memories, fleeting and precious, are nothing to Sephiroth. No, like rain rolling off his back. Like, Aerith is telling us that the way Sephiroth is back in this game, isn't he just time traveled back? No, he's violated memory, the pool of memory that is, yeah, the Lifestream, which makes perfect sense when you tie in Terra Corrupt, which he was sowing in Advent Children, which was the Geostigma, and that's present in 7 Remake, yada yada yada. Let's get on to why Jessie, I feel, is the quintessential evidence that this is all happening in a semi-dream-like reality, that Cloud is kind of in between a waking and a dreaming state. Dream the sweetest of dreams and all those references. And what I said in the last video is it's akin to Cloud being like trapped in the Lifestream, essentially. And when I go to Jessie now, whose dad is literally just that. You know, we see the whole line with Biggs, that Jessie has a theory that his consciousness is trapped in between reality and the planet. Planetology, that's what Jessie's researching, that's why she's in the game, literally to try to help her dad. Anyway, so exactly the state they've said Jessie's dad is, that's what I'm claiming is a far more sensible, logical explanation as to why things happen in the 7 Remake, and it's a better one with far more potentials, because how exactly does time travel explain Sephiroth freezing Aerith? Like mid-go, how does time travel explain Cloud going to the moon and fighting Sephiroth? How does time travel explain any of these super trippy out moments? Again, Sephiroth at the bridge, Cloud making him tangible. Like hallucinogenics of Genova is so much more likely. And the thing with Jessie is she's played into this story in a very unique way, one that I've really not been able to clock. The whole idea that she's like this false actor on the story, like she's this invasive element that has to be, yeah, kind of done away with. Now think about it, Jessie's the only one who didn't have any survive scenario. The original deviations to the story set up by the plot ghost started with Jessie. And it wasn't just when Jessie got pushed down the stairs, which meant that Cloud could go on the mission, when originally he wasn't. The ghosts were even there in this scene.
Sorry, I tried. We talked it over, but in the end, we didn't want to put so much on you. This is our fight.
Jessie, what's the holdup?
Be right there. No hard feelings, huh?
It's fine.
Let's talk more after I'm done here, okay? I'll catch you later. Sorry to keep you thirsty boys waiting.
it just flitted in the background as Jessie then went up and told Cloud that for some reason they had decided not to bring Cloud on this mission. I've not been able to work out why this deviation is here. Some people said, oh, because Jessie wasn't in. She wasn't injured in the original at this point. She did come on the second mission. She was on the train. People said, oh, it's because Barrett doesn't trust Cloud in this. Well, no, Barrett didn't trust Cloud in the original. The reason for this deviation are both centered around Jessie, and it is very important to how the story flows out, how all the butterfly effect that leads towards Sephiroth's advantage. I could see why Sephiroth, again, it was a corrupted ghost that was present when Jessie got pushed down the stairs, all happened around Jessie because of how thirsty she is. Like, she is super all over Cloud. She's the one who's giving him material throughout the game. Like, she's giving him like 3 or 4 orbs, which is making him more powerful. She's the one who's trying to get him a raise. She's the one who's trying to decide what missions he goes on. I mean, it's literally to the point where it's because of Jessie we have this whole deviation mission where we meet Roche, we go to Jessie's parents' house where we learn about the dad trapped in between the Lifestream, like his consciousness is trapped, and all the other little things with Jessie now being the princess of the Golden Saucer. Now what realistically is that? That is, in OG, Cloud having 3 dateable options, well, 4th if you include Barrett, but he can't be the princess. Unfortunately, I don't know. Barrett for princess in Remake? Let me know your vote in the comment section below. But they're the viable candidates that Cloud can date. And by her being the princess, it's kind of essentially making Jessie really that 4th dateable option. And that is really significant on the story. Because anyone who tugs on Cloud's emotions, anyone who wants his attention, his focus, is important to both Sephiroth and the planet. Like, it's so huge that the planet is sitting there having to alter Cloud's memories to keep this, this deceptive story going, to keep its narrative intact, and it's just as important to Sephiroth. So anything that is overly invasive is a real threat to both the planet and Sephiroth. So that's why I think even the corrupted one, non-corrupted ghost, would both want Jessie out of the picture. But moving forward, her being the princess, one of the things that they then took that further with is that everything that Jessie is doing in this game is kind of like an obvious telltale sign of the deception that is in place in part 1 that I'm so convinced is there, and I want everyone to get on board with because it's present. And Jessie, for some reason, is performing in this fake kind of way that we're not allowed to look at. That's the thing that Square Enix have done so much in this remake. They've said we can't look at her. Everything that is hinted towards, don't look too deeply into Jessie. What's some of the evidence? Well, when we go to Jessie's house, Wedge stops Cloud from peeking behind the curtain of her literal house. Don't peek behind the veil of what's there. Then Wedge goes on to actually warn us that, don't trust anything Jessie says, and his line was this.
I'm telling you this for your own good, Cloud. People around here love to gossip.
They know about Jessie and Avalanche?
Nah, it's all good. They think she's an actress. Oh, and one more thing, bro. It's all a game to her. Don't fall for it.
You lost me.
Life's a stage and love's the play.
Life's a stage and love's a play. Life's a stage. This version of the remake is an act. It's a performance. It's not real. That's my interpretation after my hashtag dream space theory. But even like love's a play, like loveless, the play Loveless, there's even something in there. I feel. But one of the things I want to bring up from that Dream Space theory that I mentioned that I'm so convinced of now is that if this is, again, Terra Corrupt, harvested, amplifying Cloud's hallucinogenics, which is creating this layer of deception, one of the things I've really picked out is all of the characters are playing their regrets in this game. Everything that they regretted doing in OG, they're now doing it. I made a little list. Where was it? And quickly before I go into the list, like the significance of the regrets, fears, and dreams. If you want to be in Soul G, you got to have dreams. The idea of these 3 things, this is what forms memory. Or this is a part of memory. This is what is the fundamental foundation again of the Lifestream. And if Terra Corrupt has corrupted that and used it into this story, well, that's exactly what Terra Corrupt exploits. Memories, dreams, desires, regrets, all of those things. Now, so the list is Tifa, She wished that she went back to save Cloud. She did it in OG. Like, regretted not going back and helping him. Again, Square Enix themselves said that when she does go back to help Cloud, it was a response to her not helping him in Chapter 5. So it was like, after Chapter 5, she's like, I wished I helped Cloud. And all of a sudden it happens. And I go back to when Cloud got a picture of him fighting Sephiroth's head, and then it happens. Kate / Reeve, they wished that they had tried to do more to stop the pillar collapse. It was always Reeve's biggest regret that he didn't try to do more. We have Kate sit there. And Reeve puts up so much more of an efforted fight to stop Shinra from doing it. Like, he really tries to persuade them. Barrett's dream, where his was that Shinra admitted to their crimes, that Shinra were exposed to people. That's Barrett's dreams. Chadley's in this game, obviously he wasn't in OG, but he dreams of having free will. A robot dreaming it can have free will, and that it finds it from data mining Cloud. Robots can't have free will. They can't. I mean, I think that's what they've played it. Only in this dream version of Cloud's reality is Chadley actually able to have something that resembles free will. Anyway, Aerith's dream was for Zack to be alive. Whereas Cloud's was obviously to beat Sephiroth. It's always to beat Sephiroth, and he does. He beats him at the final fight before they head to the moon or the back of the meteor. Jessie's dream was that she made a move on Cloud. She even kind of articulates it before she dies. That she wishes again that they could go have more pizza and go to her mum's house. But we'll go back to that death scene very soon. Wedge, his dream was that his actions made a difference. He even says when he gets thrown out the window, I just wish that something I did made a difference. Biggs's, I don't know, his could easily be something to do with the orphanage, like the kids. He ruffles Cloud's hair, says he's like one of them, then wakes up in the orphanage. I don't know, like the orphanage was the last thing on his mind, and then that's where he wakes up. And Sephiroth's dream is to be whole again, I believe, on a deeper level. That's reflected even in OG. Sort of Sephiroth starts moving away from Genova's manipulation because he wants to become his own powerful being, not manipulated. We saw that with the failed clones. Like, the failed clones first respond to Genova, and then they start following Sephiroth. Sephiroth, they even like throw themselves into the crater. And I believe that was Sephiroth's dream to be whole. And of course, at the edge of creation, he now refers to himself as Ori, which he hadn't done since Crisis Core, and is his most complete self-descriptor. So how he describes himself when he's whole. There's probably more I've not even dove into, but yeah, all of the characters playing out their kind of dreams, and Jessie's being that she actually makes a move on Cloud. Well, that's exactly what she does. She makes a big move, and she becomes the princess of the story, aka the fourth viable dating candidate for Cloud. So if we take this idea even further, that Jessie is this kind of invasive element in this not entirely real but kind of real remake that's playing out, and there's so many ways that this can be happening, and I feel like it's even perhaps hinted to us how this could be happening. I came up with the hallucinogenics idea, but one thing that really hit me, man, was during Jessie's death scene, they flash up multiple times on this helicopter. Multiple times that they even dedicate, while Jessie's dying and giving her a super emotional ending, they even give it a dedicated set flash shot. Now all it says is Shinra 00, or shall I say 0700. Now 00, and it's done in sort of in the format of a time, like a month and year. So I was like, oh, let's go to the timeline. Ooh, let's go to the timeline. Because of course 00 is a time in the FF7 universe, literally 000. So I thought, okay, let's go to July. Here's what happens in summer of 000. Two major things, man. The first one, that's when Zack had his VR fight at the start of Crisis Core. Now, let's break down what happened in that. They kind of red herring us, Square Enix, by making us think it's real. Like, it seems really real. You got Zack fighting soldiers, and it looks so real. And you're thinking, what the fuck is going on? Why is Zack doing this? And boom, because it was a fake reality. It was an illusion. It wasn't real. I mean, that whole like fighting VR thing, it is such a way, like even that being in FF7 Remake, of course we had the VR segment, which Cloud tripped it out. It goes purple and we see the apocalyptic scenario play out. Like even that's telling us like, this world can have VR segments that can present to us something that seems really real, but isn't necessarily real. So that's point number one. The second thing that happens in Summer of 00 is that's when they find Shulk. Shulk from literally Dirge of Cerberus. Now, who was Shulk? Of course, it was Shalua's younger sister, but Shulk's specific ability was she had the rare gift of being able to control the synaptic net drive, which, by its own description, allowed her to interact with different planes of existence, such as digital currents and the subconscious thoughts and memories of others. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's just when I saw that helicopter at Jessie's death, I was like, why have they flashed on it so many times? I go to the date, that's what I see. I'm just reporting what I see. And if Jessie is indeed this false actor in this scenario, could that be why she uses the word psych all the time? She uses the word psych. Psych! Now, what does psych mean? Well, I looked it up, just dictionary.com. One of the definitions is to figure out psychologically. To figure out psychologically. Decipher, it says. Decipher what is real. Oh my god. I'm so up on this theory, man. I'm so up on it. And just even Jessie's final words. Buckle up, prepare for the feels. Let's play it.
Don't you guys have somewhere to be? It's not polite to stare, you know.
What weird final words. It's not polite to stare, you know. Not only do I think that says something, now all of this says a lot about Jessie's character beyond just like her thirsty element, which is obviously so strong. You know, that she kind of has this that insecurity that while she's this big, bold, brash character and actor, that only within the context of acting does she feel strong and empowered. If she's actually being stared at, you know, deeply, that it kind of makes her feel vulnerable and insecure. But again, if we take the dream interpretation of it, it's kind of like Jessie saying, don't stare too deeply, don't peek behind the curtain. I am the illusionary symbol in this game. I'm the hint that everything that you're seeing isn't entirely true, isn't entirely real. Life's a stage. 7 Remake's a stage, one set by Sephiroth, and Aerith is having to perform as another actor in. She's having to act like she doesn't know Cloud. She's having to act like she did in OG and to follow those events, even though, you know, secretly she doesn't want to. Whether this is timelines, Terra Corrupt, synaptic network drives, VR, there is something else at play here that we're missing, and it's kind of really frustrating to me. I mean, I love that so many people are like real on board with it and sort of going with their own interpretations, and I love that. I don't want to just believe what I'm saying. I want to open up these avenues of discussion for people to go down, but so many people are like, no, mate, you're thinking too hard about it. It's just time travel. It's all it is. It's all it is. No. That's shit, and it doesn't explain even a fraction of the mysteries at play in this game. The last thing I'd leave off on, and no, this could be nothing. There was like these pizza top ingredients that Jessie mentioned. I tweeted these out to try to figure it out. Which you guys helped. You helped quite a bit. Yeah, she says, Marsh, Loosh, Black Millie, Red Shelly, I use only the best ingredients. Of course, they ain't ingredients. One person actually came up with the idea that they're based on clothing brands. Marsh is LaMarche, Loosh is Loosh, Black Millie is Millie, which do make black dresses, little black dresses, so Black Millie. And Red Shelly is a clothing designer called Shelly Kay, and they do have a red dress. I don't know, maybe like she was referencing clothes she was gonna wear earlier, or like it's just like a fun play, and then Cloud doesn't say, I don't know what those things are, and she finds it adorable. I of course took it further, being the overthinking conspiracy theorist that I am. Marsh is of course a Final Fantasy Tactics advanced character who, I'm just gonna say, when I got pulled up on saying that time travel exists, I said, no, picture the Lifestream like a book. Now, all memories recorded, and Sephiroth has essentially found a way to open the book to the page he wants and start taking his own pen to it. I find like that's so much a better description of what's happening. No, because it does. It involves the live stream and how it actually works. But then, yeah, someone told me that Marsh, because I've never played the game in Tactics Advance, he has a book that activates when he's asleep, and it allows him to dream this whole dream reality. So I was like, oh boy. Oh boy. So I looked up Luche. What he said, it sounds very similar to Lucio Clemens from the same game, Tactical Advance. Luche was also the guy in Kingsglaive who put on the ring. Of course, I've talked about 15 and the dream realities and what Noctis was supposed to go onto, and all of that was going to be done from the crystal. Fake dream realities, they came from the crystal, where Luche was the guy who put on the Kingsglaive ring and he burned up. As for Black Millie, this is where the evidence get most compelling. So I type Black Millie, Final Fantasy. What pops up? Shadowbringers 5.2 of all things. Millie and Bayo's Adventure, episode 55. Millie is for Millennial Williams. Yes, they only have 177 subscribers, but Square Enix knows what's up. In said questline, we are transported into Sid Garland's memory. It's recreated in reality so that we can go back, find some secret weapons that were lost and secret information. And who just so happens to appear in said questline? Jessie. Yes, Jessie. She is the setup to all of this. This is a collaboration between Tetsuya Nomura and Yoshi P. Obviously. Now, what's Red Shelly? This is obvious. Shelly is a very common term in a specific southeastern part of the UK known as sandwich. Unfortunately, it'll be under the seas in 50 years. Poor soggy sandwich. And the locals there, they call pills Shelly. Yes, fancy getting on the old Shellies tonight. So essentially when Jessie's saying Red Shelly, she's saying red pill. Take the red pill, wake up from the Matrix. It's all possible. Is it possible I've had a haircut? I don't know, let's check. Oh, how is this possible? Probably dreams, certainly not time travel. Those whole ingredients things could be diving down a whole nother tunnel. It could just be like dress designers. Weirdly, as I followed that, apparently Roberto Ferrari's wife was the inspiration for Jessie. I don't think this is confirmed, but... Did you, Roberto? Did you make thirsty best girl look like your wife? There it is on Jessie, and I can't even begin to mention all just the weird times. I can just like show you the amount of times there's scenes where there's just like ghosts flitting in the background and they're just really close and watching Jessie, and like Jessie's the center of everything. Like she is definitely the reason why Cloud goes on the next mission. No, she gives him the materia and propose. It's because that she kind of feels bad and wants Cloud to go on the next one. The fact that of course we now see her glove at the end on Biggs's freaking table. Like, how is any of that real? How is Biggs real? How alive? How did Wedge survive that pillar collapse? How did any of these things happen? In the context of people believing that no, everything we see in FF7 Remake is just normal Remake. It's just plot ghosts and time travel, and there's no conspiracy going on. There's definitely a conspiracy going on, and Jessie is the hint of it. I definitely believe she's going to be the character that blows our nips off, because I just guarantee it, she's going to appear later on. Maybe it will be the Golden Saucer, maybe it will be during the Princess play. Who knows? Like maybe in the Princess play that they get really weird with that. Like imagine if there's some sort of like VR dream memory sequence where sort of the Princess play date scene happens, but kind of like for real. Like imagine that, like it kind of actually happens for real, and we flash out, and then like Cloud's on a stage, and it's like, what the fuck just happened there? Be like the first clearest indication of us like stepping over from events that happen realistically, or what seem realistically in Cloud's memory, to actual reality. Maybe it's through her in some way that we come to realize about the deception that has plagued us this entire part one, and through that of course get explained to us how it is that Wedge survived, how it is that Big survived. I've done so many theories on that, like maybe Kate Searth went in and he got a few people out, like Reeve actually went and helped people. Maybe Zack is in this story, because it's not multiple timelines, but looping timelines. Maybe he saved him. I don't know. I definitely want explanations though. It would be so crap if we get no explanation on why these characters survived or how, but I'm sure we will. All we gotta do, my peasants, psych it out.
Either way, Jessie is best girl and she needs to return.
Hopefully that's just laid out all the weirdness with Jessie. If you have a different conclusion, a different theory about what this performance fake actor aspect of Jessie was here to tell us, and all those other things, let me know in the comments section below. Till the next video. ho! Fuck!
He's a good boy who never stops.